Hello, Lucas.
Ooh, what you got there?
I have
It's
a
a hair.
hair, a random hair. And it's something I can see, no one can see, but it will bug me.
Yes, well,
Yeah,
everyone, it might
I
be
know
hard to
so.
believe that with this going on, occasionally I do get one of those. It's like a Tammy or a Madeline, especially Maddie's. Maddie's got like such fine little hair, and I'm like, it's
Yeah.
such a
What is it?
foreign thing.
What is it?
So how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
doing
the
great.
holiday week.
Oh my gosh. When nothing happens during holiday week.
Hope everybody's gearing up for Halloween, Thanksgiving, other holiday. They're a horror writer.
Well, isn't Thanksgiving like the opposite of Halloween?
Um, I wouldn't say it's the opposite. It's like Halloween part 2 for big fall fans, right?
It is? See,
Oh
I would
yeah.
think Halloween is like when everybody gets massacred, and Thanksgiving is when you give thanks for the fact that you weren't massacred.
See, they're related. This is a
All
good
right.
thing.
All right, fair.
Yeah, so guys, if you're not aware, if this is the first time you've caught one of our webinars in the last week, we have done a 3 webinar
Wherever.
run, and this is number 3.
Yeah.
And this one is particularly about marketing and monetizing your book in the next year. So we kicked this whole thing off with the discussion about like, hey, if I were to want to put out a book in the next year,
Yep.
I would have to write, publish, market, and monetize that book to probably feel whole about it, right? To feel
Yes.
successful about that book contributing positively to my business's bottom line. We talked about marketing and promotions pretty heavily in the first one. And the second, or sorry, we talked about writing and publishing pretty significantly in the first webinar.
Fun.
And then we extended that conversation in the second webinar and started to merge into the world of marketing a bit. But we wanted to take today, particularly to talk about marketing and monetizing, because there's so much to unpack there. And you and I had commented a bit about how that's really like kind of like the next big phase of the book after you've written and published is like now you have this lifelong commitment to marketing the book and using that book as an asset in your business to both serve your clients and serve your business.
Yeah.
It's important.
Understatement. Yes, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important to understand that your book does not go bad. It is, once it's out there, it can be a revenue generating asset forever, assuming it's a quality book. And we won't rehash that. If you want to know about producing a quality book and why it's important, the first of this series of 3 really dives into that. And then we talked about it last time as well, because it's really hard to market a poor book, a poorly done book. So the rest of your book's life is everything after, about that first 30 to 45 days after it's been published. That's the whole rest of your book's life. And it's a really heavy lift that does not need to be done, nor should you think about doing it all at one time. Marketing is a forever thing, and turning the book into other income streams, aka monetizing it, is also something that can be done forever.
Yeah. I love that those two things I think often get lines crossed, but the particular distinction between marketing and monetizing, right? Could you talk a little bit about like where do I separate these two in my head? Because like
Yeah.
marketing and selling, I'm thinking of advertising, talking about my book, doing all these things, showing up, book signings, all the things, right? That's the marketing part. And then the monetizing is like building out, right?
Yes. So think about monetizing as selling the thing you already have.
Do
And
it again.
monetizing is selling the thing you don't already have based on the thing you already have.
Right.
Or it's the fruit of the tree. So an additional income stream from your book is that fruit, right? It is another opportunity to repurpose the content, combine it perhaps with other aspects of your knowledge, your expertise, your education, the miles you've traveled, insights, those sorts of things. And that is your monetization piece.
So creating courses,
Yep.
creating virtual summits, creating workshops, coaching
Yep.
programs.
Yep.
Um,
Consulting.
yeah, consulting, special
And
events.
yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're kind of hesitant to dive into expanding that product line around that book, because you're so concerned about focusing on the book, yeah, how do you kind of reconcile? There's like a certain part of like, is there a certain period of time after you've published a book that you feel most comfortable diving into monetization?
No, I actually, and you and I have talked about this too, because it is helpful to start monetizing your book even before you publish your book. So we think about a book, or I think about a book as not just the book, but the companion workbook, journal, companion guide, companion planner, whatever goes with it. And then a third item, and those can all be created and released very quickly or at the same time. So doing a book, a workbook, and a course. A book, an action planner, and your keynote presentation, right? So there are, and it's not always three, but we talk about the three-legged stool because those are generally the things that go together, and they go together quickly. When you're thinking about monetizing, I think about monetizing way in the beginning. Now, before I'm even putting pen to pencil or pen to paper or pencil to paper or fingers to keyboard, I'm thinking about how the book is going to live in my business. What is the role of the book in my business, and what are the other forms it can live as, right? 1 is good, 2 is better, 3 is amazing, right? So it's twins, triplets, quadruplets, septuplets, right? Your book can be recreated into different forms and be generating lots and lots of revenue in all different ways. And it's never too soon to think about it. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this and you're thinking, yes, I want to write a book in the next year, and right now I have a blank page, I'm literally staring down, I have a blank page and I have a pen. This is the best time to write book, some kind of a companion journal, planner, whatever. And then what's maybe a third or fourth thing that you want to create out of the content of the book that you're going to have? And could the thing that you're creating to go with it be something that you could launch and sell even while you're in the process of writing the book? The answer is yes, depending on what it is.
Right. Yeah. And you and I have talked about in other episodes of the podcast, particularly the ones where we cover like creating a course or creating a workbook with around your book, kind of launching like this bundle, right? It's like not just a book launch. You've got the course launch at the same time. The workbook comes out the same day. And that workbook is not another format of the book. It's a separate product.
It is.
Right.
It is. It's sold separately. It
Mhm.
can be sold with, but it can also be sold later. It can be launched later. And it is a second product that is, or third product or fifth product that is available in multi formats. Just as your book is an ebook, a paperback, a hardcover, you can do an ebook, a paperback, and a hardcover of the companion right along with it.
Right.
So that just takes your income stream from, I was just going to do a paperback, to I'm going to do a paperback, a hardcover, and an ebook. So you have 3 income streams, and then you do a companion. Now you have 6 potential income streams, 2 things people can buy in the format that really makes them happy. And then of course you have the 4th optional format for a book, which is an audiobook.
Right. And I'm just now diving into audiobook fun, and it's been fun. But I guess if you're gonna monetize at your launch, right? So let's say I want to put the book out and I want to put a course out at the same time.
Yep.
It does impact the amount of work you have to do before the launch. So, yeah, for those that are watching, if you haven't been through this experience before, you're essentially launching multiple products at the same time. So you have multiple product development,
Mm-hmm.
obligations. You may be marketing to a different audience, although it might be the same audience. Some people may be more inclined to purchase one thing over the other. You've got a lot of considerations when you start diversifying the launch a bit. And I think it can be really fun and rewarding to also use those products, not necessarily as or more so as like a complimentary offer, right? So like, let's say you're going to put the book and the course out at the same time. You could offer a free copy of the book to everyone who enrolls in the course. All right, that kind of thing. Or if you're going to do the book and the workbook, you could have like a bundled sale where you
Yep.
bundle the two together, right?
Yes.
Isn't that
Yes.
awesome? Now,
Yeah.
if I was going to do this for a more service-based industry, if I was a coach, for example, and I wanted to launch a book and revamp my coaching program at the same time, wink, wink, that'd be a pretty powerful way to kind of.
Oh, we lost you just for a second. So I think what you were starting to say was it's a powerful thing to think about the brand that you have and how you want to present that brand as it pertains to your coaching business and how the book is going to fit into the coaching business. So there are a couple of different things to think about even as you're crafting your what's coming. So if you're a coach, you're saying I'm a coach, I'm already doing coaching, but maybe you're new or maybe you're 5 years in and you don't have a book and you've heard as you've done speaking engagements to market your coaching, and this is really a page out of my playbook early on. I was doing coaching and did not yet have a book. And so my first book was a presentation that I had given that was very popular, and it was around the work that I did with my clients. So I took the work that I was doing with my clients around time maximization and organization and networking and things, create a statement or speech around that. And then I would go and deliver the speaking engagement. And then people would say, oh, of course, you need to have a book based on this speech or this presentation that you're giving us. And really gave people a line of sight to the work that I would be able to do with them as a coach. So helping them to be more organized, to quote my old tagline, double their income and triple their time off. And so that was my focus, was to make people more effective and more efficient at managing their time, at generating new business, at working with new clients, and just operating in general, right? What is the point of having a business or clients or anything if you don't have control over it and it is not something that you are driving? So my original presentations were around the work that I was doing with my coaching clients to engage new coaching clients. And then when I wrote my first book, which became there's a 10th anniversary edition. So I haven't updated it since then, but I did the 10th anniversary edition of Tall Order in 14, early 15, which was based on the original Tall Order, Organize Your Life and Double Your Success in Half the Time. It was around the coaching principles that I was working on with my clients. So if you have no book and you're a coach, you can think about what's the work that I'm doing with my clients? Why are people coming to me? So whether you're a life coach, an executive coach, a career coach, whatever area of specialty you're in, a relationship coach, a divorce coach, you're doing some work with your clients. And chances are that while every coaching client situation is different and custom to that client, that there are some boundaries around it. So for example, when I'm working with someone to publish their book, the hook is different, the idea is different, the outline is different, but everybody has a hook, everybody has a title and a subtitle, everybody has an outline, everybody has a call to action. And so the coaching work that you're doing with someone is generally topic specific or life area or business area specific. And you're offering advice to them. You're asking them questions and you're giving them directives and homework so that they can make progress and put uh, blocks in place so that they are more effective and more efficient and are more prosperous and all those things. And that is what your book should talk about, in my opinion. I'm just one data point in the universe, but I think if your book can help to develop the relationship that you would build with your client without you there, your words, your personality, your process, they would have a line of sight to whether they like you or not. They want to continue the conversation with you and see if they want to work with you. And so your book could be, might as well be, why not, right? Why would you write on your vacation to Disney, because that doesn't help you to build your business, right? So you want to use something, or you choose a topic, right, in alignment with what you want to talk about. And then you would use that book to give to potential clients who would then see not only your process and how you work with people, but also your personality, your sense of humor, how someone might engage with you. Should they hire you as a coach? Should they hire you as a speaker? What kind of coaching do you do? Is it individual? Is it group? Those sorts of things. So I tried to kind of pick it up. I picked up what you were putting down, Lucas, so that you could get the internet to behave.
Thank you. We're having a bout of storms coming through the East Coast.
Okay, we got those last night.
Yes, you did. Yeah. So Honore and I are in 2 separate time zones, but she's west of me. So anything she gets, I get the next day.
I send it right over so you can enjoy it also.
Yeah. So I've got my schnazzy tech guy confirming that it's not anything on our side, and he said everything's working fine. So,
all right.
But we have rain for the first time in like a week.
We had not had it either. So it was nice to get, but it's causing a little bit of technical difficulty. So while that you're dealing with that, why don't I talk about how someone can think about, unless you have a question, they can think about how they identify an income stream and what that thought process is like.
Yeah, that'd be perfect, because I think one of the things that kind of stalls people is the analysis paralysis, right? Like they've got all these options, and they've got this great book now. Where do I go? Which one do I start with?
Right. Well, it's if they are like me at all, or maybe like you, it's like, well, I want all of them.
Yes, right? Please. And thank you.
Why choose? Because I want all of them. And so setting aside that you might want all of them, or there's a good bit of them that you want to have, there are a few things just to think about when you are looking to choose to build an income stream. And really the first one, decision zero in my scenario is around time and money. But maybe even before that is, what am I choosing something, or can I keep in mind that when I choose something, there may be some time that it takes to get it up into place? And does it fit in with, because some ideas can seem like a really great idea. Oh, I do X for a living, I should create a course and I'll have a live component, except that you hate people.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And so you have to really think about, well, you want all of the income streams because you might be thinking money, but money is not the first consideration when it comes to these sorts of things. There are some other qualifiers before you choose an income stream. So the first one would be, where does that income stream fit into your business? It's just like a book. What is it meant to do within your business? Having courses is meant to earn you an income, but what else is it supposed to do? Speaking is going to earn you an income, but what else is it going to do? And then we get into, not unlike marketing your book, the income streams require you to think about, how fast do you need the money? Right? So once you go, okay, well, I'm a coach and I want to do more coaching, coaching can be a fairly quick path to money. But then once you sell it, if money is the only thing you're looking at, then you'll get the money and then you'll be like, okay, well, the money's in my pocket, I don't really feel like coaching anymore. Right? The dopamine is worn off. And you and I have encountered some people like that, where they sell you a service, and then once the money is gone, like they're gone, but the service hasn't been received. So you really have to think about, what's on the other side of this payment that I'm receiving? How on the hook am I? Or more specifically, because you're still in the choosing phase, how on the hook do I want to be? How much time do I want to put into it? And am I willing to do it even when it's frustrating, even when the client is uncooperative, if that were a thing? Even when, you have other things that you need to or want to deal with, are you still going to be willing to go the extra mile for the people that you're serving, that you sold the products or the services to? So really, if you are an extrovert or an introvert that likes people, and you have attention to detail, and you're willing to just kind of like never give up, then almost any income stream is great for you. So then you want to think about, how much money does it take to start it? How long am I going to have to not be with revenue? And how long am I willing to stay committed to something before I just say it's not working, or I'm getting the fruits of my labor? Interestingly, I heard a story not very long ago about some guys who had created some code, and they tried to sell it, 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 and they couldn't sell it. So they called their attorney, and they were like, you know what, we're just going to make this open source. And the attorney was like, whoa, 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 like, you've created something that's really good. You know what, we should just go to the company that if they bought this, it would be amazing for them. It would be amazing for you. So the attorney calls the company, and the company says, well, who are you talking to? Because he said, like, literally, let's talk. Let's like just put it out there. And he's like, well, we're talking to literally everyone. And they were literally talking to one company, and they closed within 30 days for $100 million.
Wow.
But
Wow.
it had been years. They had not had revenue for years, and they were to the point of finally just like, forget it. We're just going to make this open source. Anybody can use it. And instead they pocketed $100 million. Now, not that there's $100 million on the other side of your book or your coaching program or your speaking, but what if there is?
Right.
And you have to be willing to stay in it, and to be the ant that moved the plant, and stay focused until you get the result that you want. Failure can never be an option, and quitting can never be an option, in my opinion. So if something is not working, but you know that it's a solid idea, and you have run it through is there a market for this? Do I really want to do it? Can I charge, a fair amount for it and feel like I'm prosperous? I've given it the time that it takes. Then maybe there's something that you don't know. Maybe you need to do something different or try something else before you give up. But when you're looking to choose the income streams, you're going to want to rank order the ones that you really want to do according to how quickly you need money and how much money and time you have to put into building the income stream. So I'm sure I've raised some questions for you or things that you want me to talk about, Lucas, but that's really the place where you start initially.
Yeah, I like that you think about the obligation. You think about how it aligns with your energy, with where you want your business to be. You and I have had this conversation even for my own stuff before, where I'm like, yeah, I've got all these different products put together, but I don't know that I want to launch them or use them right now because I don't feel like it's the right time in my business.
Yeah.
Because there is a commitment to that. And much like you, I harp on making sure that people have the business that they want, and that you don't just take the one that you can have,
Right.
because that would be that leads to an unhappy business owner,
So good.
eventually.
Yes.
Even though they might be doing great things for great people, and your clients are none the wiser, it could impact the way you feel about your own business. That's excellent. So okay, so if let's say we want to think about the marketing piece of this. If I'm gonna monetize my book right out the gate,
Yeah.
how does this impact my book marketing? So usually
Mm.
with the book marketing, I'm thinking I got to market this new book. I've got to get it out to potential readers. Does this impact my marketing action plan if I'm going to do a multi-product launch, or do I treat each one as an individual thing?
Well, they're not individual. They're individual revenue producing assets, but they're not independent. They are interdependent. If
Okay.
the job of the book is to get more of the third product sold, so let's say you have the book, right? You have the workbook and you have the course. If the job of the book is to sell the workbook and the courses, then the book could be sold, but it could also be gifted. And it could be gifted physically, it could be gifted digitally, it could be gifted in conjunction with a speaking engagement, a course purchase, those sorts of things. So they're not independent, they're interdependent. Once there is, a fruit of the tree, so the book is the tree and the fruit are the other income streams. Like once your tree starts to bear fruit and those pieces of fruit are generating revenue, they are all interdependent. They all work together, or they should work together. And what you want to do is pull back the lens and figure out what the job of the book is. What's the job of the book? What is the course? What is the job of the course? Or insert any other income stream. So it could be speaking, consulting, coaching, training, et cetera, right? So when I say course, I could mean giving a speech, a presentation, conducting a certification. Like, what is the role of that in your business? How are you putting all of that together? And then that will help you to put together your book map, your book marketing action plan. Because if you just want to make revenue from your book, if you just want to sell books for royalty income, then you're going to probably be a guest on podcasts. You're probably going to run some ads on different platforms. But if you are wanting to sell courses or speaking, then you're still probably going to go on podcasts. But instead of telling people to go buy your book, you're going to ask them to go to your website to download a free copy of the book, because then you've got a strong email sequence and a call to action and upsales for them. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I think it's critical that you put that distinction in there about where you're directing people, because the shotgun approach is like, put all the products out there, let each product kind of be sold, serve who it's going to serve. But in the way you're describing, it's, you're creating this very intentional path for the user to go down,
Right.
the purchaser to go down. Yeah, I love that. And with the courses, it's interesting because when I have a client that has a book and their book hasn't already been designed to point to a course, I'll tell them, hey, look, you could have formatted this into your book, but since it's not there, we now.
The internet does not love you today.
It does not.
I want you to finish your thought. Since it's not in the book, I want you to finish that thought, because I think it was probably important. So I didn't want to change subjects.
Yeah. By the way, I've got a backup computer coming down. Hopefully I can get this.
Oh, great. Perfect.
So if it's not in your book, you have to build it into your marketing copy, because the book can't do the selling for you. Right. So this is one of the reasons why I love the way you format nonfiction books, is, to optimize and maximize the opportunity of the book, to sell other products, to help drive business into your business. And so if you don't have your book doing that, but the book is obviously related and is a direct line to your product, then you have to do that in the marketing copy.
Correct. And who does the marketing copy?
Well, we do.
Right. Right. Meaning the author, the course creator, or
Thanks,
if
Steve.
you're using a branding agency or a marketing agency, then they will do the marketing copy. It's so important. And I love the blank sheet of paper, because then you can really map things out, and then you put a production schedule together, just like we talked about doing a book production schedule. You put then an asset creation production schedule together. And then you know that while I'm working on this is over here. And while I'm working on that, this is being taken care of. And so you have this seamless rollout that is intentional in the pace, but not stressful. And the whole point of building an empire that you own that does not own you, which is the whole purpose of the Empire Builders Mastermind, the Empire Builders Masterclass, and also building $1 million book business, is that you are creating income streams that you can take a break from, so that you don't burn out. You don't want to get to the point where you can't wait for it to be 5 o'clock, or you can't wait for it to be, Friday. And make no mistake, entrepreneurs are very tired. But we're a good tired, right? We're a good tired. We're not a resentful tired. And we do take breaks to refresh and rejuvenate and recharge, because that's important. Think about that when you're putting together your map, when you're putting together your massive action plan for building your empire, and you think, okay, well, I'm going to be a speaker, and I'm going to have courses, and I'm going to have books, and I'm going to do workbooks, and I'm going to be on the road all the time, and I'm going to breed puppies, right? Like at some point you can run out of energy. And so you want to pace yourself. So you want to have a great cadence, one that really challenges you to see what's possible, but not one that you come to resent or that you burn out. And I know you're getting situated, so I'll talk just for a second about going to 20 Books, the conference. And I was talking to Joanna Penn, and we were talking about the fact that it's 10 years later, and we're still producing, we're still creating, we're still publishing, and we're still there. And it's because we didn't burn out, that we might be working really intentionally and purposefully all the time, or a lot of the time, but that we are still producing because we didn't sit in the audience, 2 years before, decide to write 150,000 words a month and then burn out, which is what happens to a lot of authors. It happens to a lot of creatives, and it happens to a lot of speaker, author, coaches, or course creators, authors, companion product creators, right? It's very easy to get yourself to a point of burnout, or to a place of, just where your batteries are empty. Like, I feel like my batteries are at 11%, where it's got that red line. It's like, we're almost done. we're gonna quit, and your iPhone will quit. Your computer will quit if you don't charge it. Oh, look, I can see you. Is it you, Princess Leia?
Tis me.
Perfect.
How's this? Is this better?
Yeah, this is great.
Turns out I have a computer problem.
Oh, all right. Well, it's not an internet problem.
It's a computer internet problem.
All right. Well, we'll solve it for the completion of our time with everyone, and hopefully it's valuable to them.
Right.
So thinking about, there are a few things. I'm just going to recap so that it makes sense to everyone. When you're looking at the list of options, if you get Building $1 Million Book Business, if you buy the Author Success Bundle, you get the course Building $1 Million Book Business. And in that course, there are 13 different income streams that you can build, and several of them have actually multiple choices. So there's more than 13. I'll use coaching as an example. You can do one-on-one coaching, you can do group coaching, or you can do corporate coaching. And within corporate coaching, you can do one-on-one coaching or group coaching. So there's several different options. And then, of course, there's the discipline of coaching and the different options for the discipline of coaching. So if you're looking at building any one of those income streams, you will want to first define what type of an empire that you want to build and what that looks like, knowing that everything is going to take a little bit longer. You're going to work harder. It's going to be more expensive, et cetera, et cetera. But if you take the time that it takes and you invest the right amount of money and time into building that income stream, the chances are you will hit revenue positive very quickly and gain momentum. So first is, what kind of empire do you want to build? And then second is choosing the income streams that fit in with that. And I used to be an on-the-road professional speaker. I would go and give keynote presentations. And then I realized that two things were going to happen that I did not like. One, someone else was going to have to take care of my daughter. And this was 20 years ago when she was very young. I was starting to really build my speaking business. I really enjoyed it. I did not enjoy being away from her. And so I decided I thought I was retiring. I didn't realize that 20 years later, I'd still feel like doing it, but that's a conversation for another day. I didn't want to be away from my daughter, and people who are professional speakers are on the road a lot. So that was the first thing, is I was going to be away from her. The second thing that was going to happen that I didn't particularly like was commercial air travel, right? Yeah, a lot of commercial air travel, a lot of eating out, a lot of eating in hotels, a lot of being away from home, a lot of being out of my routine, and none of that suits me well. So while I could be a professional speaker and I could make a lot of money, I prefer it to be a field trip. I prefer it to be something that I do a few times a year. I make some money, I have a good time, I stay in a nice hotel, I have a fun meal. It feels more like a field trip than a job, than an obligation. Now, maybe at a different time, or in a different situation in my life, that would be great. But at that time, at that, a snapshot of that time, I did not want to be away from her, and I didn't want to be a road warrior. And some people really dig it. They love that lifestyle. And if that's you, then you can build a very lucrative speaking business. So you might look at those income streams and say, I would be really good at this, but I would hate it. I wouldn't enjoy life at all. I'd be really rich and really miserable. And if you want to be really rich and really miserable, then go to college, get an advanced degree, and get a job. I mean,
Been there.
Oh, wait, you did that. So, and here you are. So if you are looking at it from the perspective of what's the long-term play, like how can I put something in place that 10 years from now I'm really going to have something that I love. I'm going to wake up every morning and go, oh my gosh, I get to do this. I woke up at a little too early this morning.com. So before 4 this morning, I woke up and I was like, oh, I get to do this today. I get to do a contract today. I get to work on a menu today. I get to do an agenda today. I get to do whatever this is. What are we doing? A webinar. I get to hang out with Lucas. Then I get to go have a meeting with someone. Like I wake up every day and I'm really excited about it. There's a lot going on, but there's no part of it that I'm like, oh,
right.
I have to read a book today. I have to write some words today. I have to get on a coaching call with someone and encourage them today. Like that's just so miserable. So there's no part of me that doesn't enjoy every aspect of what it is that I do. And that's really important. So when you're putting together the blueprint for what you're going to create over the next year, you're saying, okay, I need to do a book. Okay, great. While I'm at it, I might as well do X. Let me put that in the production schedule. Let me give myself the time that it takes to do that. And let me have an eye on how can I structure this so that over the long term, I have multiple income streams, multiple assets that are selling consistently that I love.
So now you teach this in the Build $1 Million Book Business course,
Yes.
which is the third course in the bundle, right?
Yeah.
So the first course is Publishing PhD. That's write and publish your book. Book marketing mastery. That's the second course. And then the third, being centered on monetizing your book, bringing about this dramatic business growth through your book, right?
Yeah.
And all three of these are bundled for the Black Friday sale at the Empire Builders Masterclass website. And right at the top, we've got a little tab that says holiday. What does it say? It says holiday sale, I think.
It does. And it has like fire next to it.
Fire.
It has fire.
Yeah. This way you can see it.
Yes. Look for the fire.
And it is fun to see. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it is. We're still good, right here?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
What
I can
happened?
take these off now. This is great. My
Oh.
Wi-Fi is doing its thing.
Are you Obi-Wan now?
I am Obi-Wan now, and I am completely on. So guys, I completely shifted from one computer to another.
I have an echo.
I think I know what it is.
Maybe not. Okay, now I don't.
Hey, stand by 1 second.
All right.
Nope, they're both on.
Wait one.
Yeah, so wait, stand by one. So thank you. Appreciate it, Pops. Yeah, so when you're considering these things for your business and you're looking for a place where you can learn how to do these things, to me it was hard to find a good resource, especially one that would save me the time. Like I couldn't find a good, like one single book that could teach me about monetizing a book. I felt conflicted about courses. It seemed like most of the courses that I found were more related to the book publication or motivation to write the book, guidance on those types of things. But it was really hard for me to find a course that taught me about monetizing a book. And I thought that was the brilliance of having the Build $1 Million Book Business course. And the fact that you've bundled all three of these for the Empire Builders Masterclass Black Friday sale is awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for that. It was a friend of mine who I won't call out because he might get upset, but it was a friend of mine who is a very successful course creator who said, you have to do this course. Everybody talks about writing a book. nobody talks about monetizing a book. And I said, I do not. And he said, you do. and he made me do it. And I'm glad he did, because it's really helped a lot of people to create the companion assets and the companions to their book that are the reason they wrote the book in the first place. I wrote the book so that I could do more coaching. My original book, I wrote my original book not so that I could sell books. That wasn't even on my radar. My book was to help me to get more coaching and speaking. That was it. And any speaker will say to you, yes, I hear all the time, I need to have a book. I need to have a book. I run into people all the time just out, at networking events, and they're like, I know I need to have a book. And I'm like, you do. You need to have a book, and it's so much closer than you think. It really can be done. So thank you, Lalindra.
Yes, Lalindra gave us a cool. There you go. He's tuned in from LinkedIn.
Awesome.
And I'm going to post that Black Friday sale link in the chat. So you guys should be able to see it in the show notes. But I'm going to also put it in the chat here. So let me paste this real quick. And this is a pretty substantial deal because it saves $1,000 off of the usual price of this bundle.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
You buy the courses individually, they're $1,000 a piece, so that's $3,000. If you buy the bundle normally, it's $2,500. You save $500. So this bundle is another $1,000 off of the normal bundle savings.
Yeah, and if you bought these three courses individually, it'd be $3,000. So you're saving $1,500 off of that. It's pretty remarkable. Now, if I were investing in this as a business owner and not just somebody who was potentially interested, it makes sense to me to get the bundle and save that money up front, because I know I'm going to want all three of them down the road. So that's kind of the way I always look at it. The other nice part about this as a business owner is it's an expense that you can write off in your business. So it's an improvement on your product development, it's education resources, great savings, all three courses, lifetime access, live Q&As, so they can come ask questions. Yeah, it's pretty great. And you get to write it off. So pretty remarkable opportunity.
Yeah. It's education is dollar for dollar write-off on your taxes. So it's a real dollar that you write off for every dollar that you spend. And then you have this education. You get to hang out with me at the Q&As, and sometimes Lucas makes a guest star appearance to tell what he's learned. And you will have a roadmap to craft, write, publish, launch, market, and monetize your book in these three courses with some overlap, obviously, because they overlap. So I did the three distinct courses with some overlap available in each course that will really help you to just finally get that book out into the world and monetize it. And it's what I wish I knew when I was starting 20 years ago. So it's 20 years ago, coming up in 20 years of publishing since I wrote my first book. And I can't even believe it's 20 years. That's just insane. But here we are.
It was a fast 20 years.
In some ways, it was a really fast 20 years. Definitely. It was definitely it's a fast 19 years, to be fair. So next year will be my 20th anniversary of publishing. And I made every mistake that I caution people against making. I never designed my own cover. I had a non-professional cover designer at one time.
So you never even took a stab at that?
No.
Yeah.
No, because I know I'm not a designer. I didn't know what real design was until I got into the weeds. And now it's a process. It's like anything, right? You go through the ugly before you go, right? You have the awkward, you have the, oh, cute, I have an idea. And then the ugly teenage phase, right? And then you get to the beautiful swan cover eventually in the design process. The same thing with a manuscript. It's ugly until it isn't. But I wish I had known, even as recently as doing You Must Write a Book, to do You Must Write a Book, You Must Market a Book, You Must Monetize Your Book, the workbooks and the courses. I did not do those linearly. I did them out of order because I didn't have someone saying, pull the lens back, Honore, and look at it as building your empire. Look at it as an umbrella and what goes under that umbrella and what's the journey that people take while they have to craft and write their book and publish it, right? And they need to do that professionally so that as they're marketing their book, people will buy it. And then as they're using the book to market the other income streams, the speaking and the coaching and the training, et cetera, that the book does that job for them in absentia. Like I didn't have anyone telling me to pull back the lens because I don't think that there are many other people that have built something exactly like what I've built, if that makes sense. And so I didn't have someone saying, think about it from this perspective. And then the people that really want to work with you have a mastermind for them, right? That was kind of a, why did you have a mastermind? Okay, why would I have a mastermind? So these courses walk you down that path with a 360 understanding, right? So with 360-degree understanding and a 30,000-foot view with granular insight and information, such as you need back cover copy that is not in your voice, right? So that's very granular. The back cover copy or the sales copy for your book is one piece of 1,000 things to know, right? But you also then have to know, well, if you're building your empire, that what are the different pieces of your empire? What's the journey of the person who's going to come and work with you, and what do they need, and in what order do they need it, and what order should you produce it? So that's really why I've created all three of these courses and the books and the workbooks and the mastermind, so that I can just, here's your map, go this way.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And this week alone, I've had 3 people send me messages on different social media platforms saying, hey, can you talk to me at some point about marketing my book? The book marketing seems to be the thing that's just really concerning a lot of authors. And I'm talking, these are fiction authors. These are not necessarily nonfiction authors. The nonfiction authors, I feel, this is my assumption based off of my own experience here. It can be, this isn't a rule. This isn't like the way it has to be, guys, but sometimes being a nonfiction author, the marketing is a little bit easier because you're already marketing your business where you should be. So you can take that kind of train of business related newsletters, emails going out, social media presence around your business that you've been nurturing for some time now in your business. You can inject your product into that. So for some fiction authors, the book marketing might feel a little different because they're not used to thinking and running their author business like a business. And it's a different experience for them, right? So can you talk just for a little bit about the book marketing aspect of this, maybe in a fiction sense? I mean, if I was a new fiction author and I didn't have a business and I didn't have the experience of marketing things, what would I learn in the book marketing mastery course that kind of gets my wheels turning and gives me the ideas?
Yeah. So full disclosure, I have not yet published fiction. It's on my radar. It's like my radar is going wee, like every day. So it's very much on my radar. Right. But the fundamentals are the same. So book marketing mastery is geared toward nonfiction authors. Asterisk, see fine print below. Honore is now published fiction. However, the fundamentals are the same. And the folks who do the best at marketing their fiction treat their business like a business. So their book business it's not just a book, it's a business, right? And so it's success is not random, it's scientific. And your book marketing needs to be based in, the science of what works when you market your book. So consistency, having a good, let's have a good product for 200. Right? So you want to have genre specific cover, edited and proofread, right? Beautifully designed, Right. Go see 4 cornerstones of a professionally published book. I didn't say professionally published nonfiction book. I said a professionally published book. So the rules still apply. I think there's one extra thing, which is know the genre that you write in and know the tropes and the reader expectations.
Right.
Right. So those are some extra things that appear in fiction that are more talked about than in nonfiction, because in nonfiction, it's just prescriptive or transformational. Someone's reading the book so that they are avoiding pain, gaining pleasure, or both. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about your fiction marketing and your nonfiction marketing, they all require consistency. It is not a shotgun spray and pray. Oh, thank goodness that's over. Go watch Netflix kind of a thing. It is a consistent, I'm talking about my book. I'm connecting my book with readers. I'm finding readers. I'm showing up in front of readers. I'm networking with other authors in my genre. I'm writing more books. The book marketing thing is exactly the same. And again, your book does not expire. It's not over. And so one of the things that I did when I was thinking about writing You Must Market Your Book is I wanted to teach people how to think about marketing, not just say, post on Instagram 7 times a day. So there's some people who are very tactical in their advice. And they'll say, you have to post every day on Instagram 3 times a day. You have to post every day on Threads. I don't even have an account. 3 times a day. You have to be on LinkedIn every time, you have to do X, Y, and Z. Those are very tactical things. Those are not strategic things. So I want you to think strategically about whether Threads works, whether banner ads work, or even doing signs, right? Should you put signs in yards like you're running for office? Should you do little book signs and put them in the yard? I don't know. I hadn't thought of it till just now, but is that a thing, right? Are there book marketing things that you should do from a strategic perspective? Does it make sense in and around your business? So I run my book marketing through 4 qualifiers. And the first one is, what is my personality? What is the personality of the author? So someone who's an extrovert and can't get enough of people is going to market differently than an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand what your personality is, because if you decide, oh my gosh, to sell a lot of books, I have to go on a book tour and I have to shake hands with 100,000 people every single day, you're going to do that. You can make yourself do anything for 10 minutes, but willpower is not enough. So you want to choose something that's in alignment with your personality. The second thing is, what is the job of the book? Well, in nonfiction, it's to help people avoid pain, gain pleasure, or both. In fiction, it's entertainment. It's to take people away.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough of if you want to see what's going on, you can turn the news on. But if you want to go to a different place, then that's why you read fiction. You read fiction for entertainment, right? And so the job of the book is to entertain. So who is the book entertaining, and where are you going to find those people? So that the job of the book is to entertain them, and who are they and where are they, right? And then it's money and time. How much money do you have to put into advertising? I'm going to give a shout out to my friends at Written Word Media. I do regular promotions with them, unpaid. This is just, I do promotions with them. It's, $20 to $50 to $150, depending on the promotion, whether you're stacking or you're just doing one day or multi-days or whatever. You can do a promotion for your book. They send it out to their list, and then you sell some books. Very easy, genre specific. So there are all sorts of things like that. So there's free Booksy and bargain Booksy and those sorts of things. There's Amazon ads, there are Facebook ads, there are all the ads. So you can spend all the money in the world if you have all the money in the world, or you can be very strategic, intentional, and purposeful about your budget. But what's your budget? We were just at 20 books, and I heard 30% of profits bandied about quite a bit. Put 30% of what you're making back into your author business. Now that could be cover design, editorial, copywriting, those sorts of things. But whatever is left out of that, or if you are revenue positive, if you've hit revenue positive, then if you make $1,000 a month, then take $300 of that and put it into advertising of some kind, or promotions, or giving books away, marketing, promotional materials, those sorts of things. And then finally, there's time, of which there is never enough. We're almost out of time here. And so you have to figure out how much time you have. And then you've got to figure out what are the few things that you can do consistently that are in alignment with your personality, the job of the book, the amount of time you have, and the amount of money that you have. And so book marketing mastery teaches you how to do that very specifically for your book. And so once you know what those things are, you've picked those 2 or 3 things and you just do them consistently. And I know what my 3 things are and I do them consistently. And it's not when I feel like doing them or not when I don't feel like doing them. I just do my book marketing, my business marketing on a consistent basis because that's what I have signed up to do. That's my business. Is that helpful? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that nugget at the end about, finding what works for you and then sticking with it and being consistent with it is huge because, just being an observer of you working as an author the last few years, if I could say that there's one super strength I think you have is that you're disciplined with your consistent marketing, your consistent promotions, your consistent writing, like every bit of what you've plotted out, you found what works for you and you're
Yeah.
consistent in adhering to what works for you. And I think that's it does something for a writer on several levels. It instills confidence in them. It instills efficiency. You're better when you're familiar and faster at something.
Yeah.
And it works for your audience. And I think that's like kind of a magic little circumstance to be in, but it's not an accident. It's not
No,
luck. You know,
no.
you did all the hard work to find where your audience was responsive, who where they were at, and you've now been able to fine tune your email lists, your podcast selections, all the things
Yeah.
to make that work. So for some people, it just takes a period of experimentation to get there. And I love that you talk about that in the course, is that you have to kind of be open to experimenting with a few things and then finding what works and then doubling down on what works. So, all right. Well, guys, if you have any questions for us, please drop them in the chat. We are going to wrap up here because we've got top of the hour upon us. Thanks again for
Crazy
you guys.
fast.
Yeah, very fast. Thanks for you guys bearing with the tech issues. That's the first time I've ever had to transfer computers in the middle of a session before, so that's pretty fun.
That was pretty amazing, though.
Big shout out to my tech, Caleb. I was like, bring me the MacBook. He's like inserting it into the side of the screen so that no one can see. And I'm like,
wow, that's so great. That's so great.
And Honore, thank you for being so gracious during that whole exchange and keeping the message going so that we didn't have any dead space.
Yes, Caleb is the man. Well, I do have to say that I got my training in how to handle challenging situations when I used to do in-home presentations as a military wife, selling vitamins, sports nutrition, household cleaners. And so like you have to just focus on the audience and the fact that the house is literally burning down around you. It's like, no, there's nothing going on. Everything's fine. So the show must go on, as they say. And we came to help people to really understand the benefits of writing a book, marketing their book, and monetizing their book. And so hopefully we have done that. And perhaps you're thinking about getting the Author Success Bundle. And what I wanted to say, Lucas, is that we want to remind people that this is once a year, that we're not a Black Friday.
Correct.
We're not doing a Black Friday sale. And then you're not going to get like an after Christmas sale, and you're not going to get a February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September sale. Like this is it. This is your Black Friday sale. We do it once a year. We're happy to do it. We love seeing all the new students show up for the Q&A in January, and we hope to see you in there. We hope to see your book and your additional income streams very soon.
That's right. So appreciate everyone tuning in. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, go ahead and check them out. The YouTube channel for Empire Builders Masterclass. Go check out the 2 videos previous to this if you want more of the great content that we've done today. And we would love for you guys to subscribe there and stay with us. Normally, we do a live stream every Thursday afternoon. Because of the holidays, we decided to do a Tuesday this week. This will be it for this week. We'll see you guys again next week on the backside of the U.S. holiday. And we're just grateful that you guys have decided to join us. Go check out the Black Friday sale. If you have any questions about it, email me or email Honore. You can email me directly at lucas at marinotraining.com. Sorry. It's getting ready to say Lucas Marino Training, marinotraining.com. And if you can't get a hold of us via email, just drop a comment right there in the video and we get a flag. I get a notification for every comment. I'd be happy to interact with you guys. So, all right. Well, Miss Honore, thank you so much for imparting your wisdom on us today and for sharing.
Well, thank you for coming as well. And happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to go eat some, all the things with pumpkin. I'm going to go eat all the things with pumpkin, and my husband is making a fried turkey. And I'm supposed to say, which is what I should have said, that I did not know Real Design until I met my husband and he introduced me to Dina. So just for the record, this needs to go in the live stream. So there it is.
That's right. And I think my best cover is not as good as his worst cover. So, so hire a pro. It's worth doing. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys on the backside of the holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving.